issues bordering on managing injuries in football and a proper warm-up before a match. The resource person, a sports physiotherapist, emphasized that players who sustain an injury in a match must be well rested to allow proper healing of the injury.
FIFA 11 Plus is more focused on preventing non-contact injuries. Injuries that can come up from the structural formation of the athletes. If the player is not strong enough, the player is not fit, then he's more predisposed to injury. So what's injury documentation, talking about injury surveillance.
Former Super Eagles coach Tunde Disu also lectured on modern football tactics and formations. He explained that tactics is the ability to read the game and make the right decision and to adapt effectively in a game situation. He said coaches should enforce their vision on their players, which must emphasize on versatility, speed, accurate passes, and the fitness level of the player.
If an opponent is playing 4-3-3 and the attacking style is better than your style, or they are penetrating, you come with a tactic that can counter their own. So if you play 4-3-3, I say, okay, I want to play 4-4-2. If you play 4-3-3, I want to play against you with 4-5-1. So you must have a tactician must have a full knowledge of different formations. But like you already said, you're asking, in our own style of football in Nigeria, we are a little technical, and right from the days of Segun Degbami and all the Messi Maker, Olabi, even the time I was playing, although we have a different formation because it was compact, but now, what Nigeria has been used to is enlarged formation that is coming from the flank. You know, Messi Maker, Amunike from the left, Finish George from the right. But they have a top man who has a good height, who has a good physique, who has a strong leg. So when you make that pull out, heading, so when you play that kind of enlarged formation, the top nine must have a good height, so that you can make the heading. So that's why the reason the coach must have the players who can play the formation. Look at some guys. Don't know that the strikers have to be a tall guy, to be a striker. If you look at the formation of Spain or Argentina, they put the ball on the ground, and that is what we are after. Attractive football.
There was also a practical warm-up session for the coaches.
Coming up is very, very important for the players, because I used to tell my team boys that whenever they are doing stretching, they have to do very well because of injury. So now what they are teaching us is very, very important for the other coaches that didn't know about it. But for me, I always tell them about it, and it's very, very important. I really tell them to do it proper. Well, the tactics and information is very important as a coach that played ball before. You need to let the player know what the pattern you want to play. Not that you just tell them. You have to tell them what to do during the match, and everybody knows his role. That's what they call the pattern.
It is the player that makes tactics, and not the tactics that makes players.
About 120 coaches took part in the clinic. The maiden Sam Okwaraji Memorial Lecture and what the organizers say, became necessary to immortalize the late Nigerian football legend Sam Okwaraji. The group, Imo State Towns Development Association, Lagos Chapter, lamented that for a player who showed much zeal and patriotism during his playing time for the national team, much more would have been done to honor him.
From today onwards, that we are going to celebrate this late gentleman that died in the course of playing for the nation. So this is just the maiden event. This is what we have started. And like I said, we are going to drive this not only within Lagos, not only with Imo State is going to hear so much about it from today on, to institute competition among 27 local governments in Imo State, so that we can do what we call the talent hunt, to be able to get good people, children that or young men and women that are good in sports, so that we can encourage them, train them, and then push it to the nation.
Sam died serving Nigeria actively. He remained the only player who has come to this country, answered the national call without picking the return ticket and demanding for any monetary reward at the expenses of his doctorate degree.
The lecture, which centered on commitment and dedication, delivered by renowned sports analyst Kennedy Ochonogo, threw more light on the need for national team players to show more passion at any time they wear the national colors.
We're talking about dedication. We're talking about a selfless service to your country. Okwaraji, is what he was always asking what he was to do for Nigeria. And that is why we are celebrating him. It's just a question of how many of our athletes can get that same quality. How many Nigerians, not just athletes, can have that love for nation before self. We don't expect anything that is to go outside the scope of SWAN. If you want to reach out there, because they try to psych the nation, whatever that has the relevance in sport, like this lecture now, it is not just what celebrating, it's kind of an awakening call, and SWAN has been in the vanguard for that.
The Imo State Towns Development Association maintained that for the younger generation to be inspired, players who deserve it must be honored while they are alive. The group matched words with action as they honored former African Player of the Year Emmanuel Aminike, the Muscat Falcons player Stella Mbachu, former sprinter Tina Iheagwam, the only Nigerian to win an individual gold medal at the Olympics, Chema Ajunwa, as well as the youngest player to play for the Super Eagles, Henry Wosu.
You remember them? We should try to immortalize our legends, our heroes. We should have I think you see. I don't know if it's the old anthem or the new one. The labors our heroes past shall never be in vain.
A novelty football match between two grassroots football clubs was played in honor of the late football legend Sam Okwaraji, who died on August 12, 1989 at the National Stadium, Lagos.